Hi, Dr. Alina Boutique Body Works. I get questions all the time about how to eat more plant-based and do it quickly because obviously we all are short on time. I do it every day. My meals are simple. Basically at lunchtime I often do some form of a stir fry. I've usually done in an Instapot my rice, brown rice, so it's whole grain, cooked for the week ahead of time, and I just add half a cup to my skillet. And so basically all I have to do is fry up my tofu for my protein. You choose your protein of choice and your choice of veg and spice or herbs as you feel like for the day. So I'm going to show you today an example. It is now 12:04. So typical time when I'd be coming in here to make lunch, and I'm literally going to do it from beginning to end. So here we go. I'm going to grab my stuff. Frying pan. I'm going to put extra virgin olive oil. You do want to use healthy fats, and olive oil is always a good choice. I'm going to put in about 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how much fat you're allowing in your diet. But remember, olive oil is poly and monounsaturated, good for the good cholesterol, your HDL. Next, grabbing my tofu, my rice. Now, I'm always going to have onion, and often I do put garlic, although not during a work day because I don't want to smell. And cabbage and mushrooms. Let's do that today. So, I'm going to prep, wash everything. I'm going to put about maybe 3 mushrooms. The cabbage is already, I've been using it. It's clean. I just have to chop it. So, use a little brush between my mushrooms. And then I'll usually have my pot of coffee brewing while I'm preparing this. You do want to prep everything so that you can time your cooking of everything appropriately. Also so that things don't overcook or burn. That's obviously desirable. Nothing tastes good when you overcook it or burn it. Well, maybe some people like burnt things. But actually, the carbon from burns isn't really good for you. It's carcinogenic. So even if you like it, maybe don't do it. All right, so chop time. Let's start with the onion. Now I can go ahead and put my tofu actually in the frying pan. I'm down to the last sliver, so I normally would have had a full serving of tofu. Since I don't have it without taking more time right now for the video purpose, I think I'll skip it and I'll just make up the protein. Mushrooms have protein, and I'll maybe throw in some peas. Green peas, edamame, those are also good sources of plant protein. Yes, they're starchy, but they're complex and they are not refined carbohydrates, so it's good for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on to about medium heat. So for this stove, that's 4. And I'm already going to throw in the onion. Let the tofu brown on one side. While that's cooking, I'll continue to chop my veg. As you see, I'm not using any knives with the rules of, French knife for chopping your vegetables or whatever. I'm just using the quickest thing to grab. Because it's lunchtime, I've got an hour to cook and eat lunch. I'm going to throw the mushroom in there. Now, cabbage. I am going to use all of this for the skillet. Remember, we want half our plate to be non-starchy veg. So all this vegetables so far, the onion, mushroom, and cabbage meet that criteria. The other half, you still have another half a plate to fill. It's going to be a quarter your protein, a quarter of your starchy veg. So for that, for me, the starchy plants are going to be my half a cup of brown rice and some peas, frozen peas. All right, so cabbage is chopped, ready to go. Now we just have to let things cook a little bit. Let's come back over here. Have a look at that. So you want to stir it up a little so it cooks evenly. I've still got it on 4. Oh, my one little piece of tofu. So I want to wait till that tofu is brown slightly before I flip it over. It's not quite ready yet, but I'm going to get my herbs and flavorings ready. So today I'm going to, it's cold, so I want to feel hot, so I'm going to spice it up. I do always use my tamari organic. You can use low sodium if you have to worry about blood pressure or sodium in your diet. I don't. So I just use regular tamari, but organic. Anything soy, I always use organic. I never eat processed soy in the form of fake meat. Processed soy is like any processed food, not good for you. So why, if I'm trying to eat clean and healthy and feed my body in a way to prevent disease and optimize health, why would I do that? Why would I put that? So, yeah, I'm gonna flip that over now. The veg is getting a little bit translucent. So I'm gonna add some tamari. Let's go ahead and throw the cabbage. Now, my tofu is in a slice, so I'm going to dig down in there. You can see that. And I'm going to use this to just portion into little squares. The other thing I like to include in my meals are nuts and seeds for healthy fats and protein, both. You do want to watch portions. So while this is cooking, let's get some cashews. We'll go next. So I've got about this much, just what fits in the palm of my hand. Cashews, they're raw and organic. Now, for those spices I talked about. Oh, let's get our peas. Since I just had one tiny piece of tofu, I'm going to put a bunch of peas. That's maybe a quarter of a cup. I tend to eyeball things. With baking, you have to measure. Baking is a science, exact science for the properties of food and how they come out. But with cooking, it's an art. You can play. You don't have to measure everything all the time. Well, I guess it depends what you're cooking, but this definitely you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's cooking nicely. It's just about ready. Do you got to add my flavor? So we have some flavor from the tamari soy sauce. Now I'm gonna put my Egyptian curry. Ooh, I got this stuff from southern Egypt on the border of Sudan in a Nubian spice market. So good. It is hot, so I'm gonna be careful how much I put, but it really warms the body. You could add anything. You could add tomato paste and some basil, thyme, or oregano. You could add cumin and some achiote, that yellow spice from South America that's super high in antioxidants in the form of vitamin E. And you could add caraway seeds. I love doing just tomato paste and caraway seeds with the similar ingredients. Anyways, you get the idea. You could change the spices. You could keep it simple, maybe just oregano, nothing else. Just basil, nothing else. You've got the oils that will help the flavors to kind of get through the food and make it more positive mouthfeel, etc. Anyways, this is looking ready. So I'm going to turn off the heat. It is now 12:15. When did I start? At 12:04. It has not even been 10 minutes. I'm going to take this off the heat. Oh, I've got to add the rice still, right? So here I have my rice already cooked. As I mentioned, I'm going to portion out about half a cup. And stir that in. So this is pretty hot, so I don't need to keep it on the heat. The rice, even though it's cold from the fridge, the heat of the food, it's going to be plenty hot. Just want to stir it up well so that all the flavors and temperature is uniform. All right, we're ready to plate it. So let that sit. Grab a plate. The other thing I like to do is have some avocado on top. So put it on a plate. Looks like a lot of food, right? Well, it's all plants. This is actually a vegan-friendly meal. There's no animal products in this meal, but it is half non-starchy veg. The other half is divided up by our starch and our protein. There's a little bit of crossover with the peas, being both protein and starch. There's a little bit of crossover with the nuts being protein and fat. Things are great. Things aren't so black and white. Okay. Next, top it with some avocado. Living here in San Antonio, I have access, lucky me, to ripe avocado all year round. I'm only going to use half. I'll save the other half for later today and something else. So I'm just making it into squares, cutting across one way and then cross-sectioning the other direction. And then scoop it out with a spoon. And there you have it. We are done. 12:18. We started at 12:04, and I've got a delicious meal ready for lunch. That's my lunch every day, some form of this. The recipe is half non-starchy veg. Another day it might be mushrooms, onion, and green pepper, or yellow pepper, colored peppers of different kinds. Another day it might be yellow squash and peas and onion and rice. You get the idea. You play with the vegetables. Another time it might be cauliflower that I've roasted previously, or broccoli that I've also steamed previously. So just experiment, but half non-starchy veg. Then you've got your half a cup of brown rice. It could be quinoa, it could be other grains. And then you've got your protein. I use tofu. For you, maybe you like chicken or fish. Stay away from red meat if possible. You could scramble some eggs once in a while, put it on top. You get the idea, play with it. But if you have cholesterol issues, then you want to try to limit what kinds of proteins choices you have when it comes to the animals. So also for cholesterol or what have you. So anyways, that gives you some ideas of how to play, also with flavors, and enjoy. It took me not even 15 minutes to make this. So I have a plant-based, from scratch, whole foods, real food, all organic, and I eat like that every day for lunch. Easy peasy, and I have time to eat it, have my cup of coffee, brush my teeth, and back to work. Thank you. Till next time.